How are you guys? Today I'm going to talk about my experience living with Buddhist monks in a French castle in the middle of nowhere in France. I stayed there in February and March of 2024, and it was honestly one of the best experiences that I ever had. It was a volunteer experience, so I actually got the free bed, 3 meals a day, and all I had to do was work a couple hours in the kitchen. It's very good if you want to travel, you want to try new things, but you're kind of on a low budget. I found this particular place on Worldpackers, but you could also use Workaway, other websites that are similar to this, or you could just go directly to their website and actually apply from there. It's a very fun experience. They're very chill. The monks are very nice, and it's also particularly good if you want to practice French because even though they do speak English, they obviously prefer French. And if you ask them, they will only talk to you in French, which will be a very, very good way for you to actually practice the language, which is pretty much what I did. There were a few options of work you could do. There was housekeeping, there was kitchen, and there was also maintenance. I was in the kitchen, which consisted of three types of shifts. You could either help prepare the food, clean the kitchen, or clean the cafeteria, and you would normally be allocated to 2 or 3 of those in a day, with 2 days off a week. So I wrote more or less what a typical day would look like to me, and I'm going to read it to you now. Um, Normally, you would wake up at around 6, 7, 8, anytime you wanted, really, but breakfast was until 9, so you should probably try to wake up before 9 and actually get the breakfast. I would always go, have a little bit of breakfast. Then maybe I would help clean the cafeteria from like 9:30 to 10:30. Just get everything set, sweep the floor, clean the tables, that kind of thing. Then maybe I would be doing nothing for a while, so I could have a book or on Kindle, for example, that I was reading. I would have tea. There's unlimited tea. You could talk, walk around, have a look at the castle. There was a meditation at noon, so every noon there was meditation. It was very nice from 12 to 12:30. Guided meditation in French, aligned with some Buddhist practices as well. Then I could, for example, have lunch, help clean the kitchen, and then in the afternoon, take a walk in the forest, chill a little bit, have a thought about life, maybe meditate a little bit more. There were other meditations during the day as well, which we could take part in, but it was 100% optional. Uh, then I would maybe help prepare dinner around 4:35, and then actually have the dinner around 6:30, and then last but not least, sometimes around 8, 9, me and the other volunteers would actually join, and we would play games. So there was a little deck of cards, and we could play games, talk, practice languages, talk about travel experiences, that kind of vibe. Actually, there are a few rules in the castle, so you couldn't drink alcohol in the premises because it's against Buddhist principle. So you couldn't bring the alcohol, and you could also not drink the alcohol. If you went out into town, for example, and you wanted to have a drink there, then that was fine. You could also not eat meat. So all of the meals that were served were vegetarian. And if you wanted to eat meat, you could also do that, but you would have to go to town and actually buy something there and also eat it there. Other than that, just general quietness, being discreet, and overall, the conversations were lovely because even the monks, they were also kind of volunteers in a way. So they sometimes helped in the kitchen, sometimes they were chefs, and you could really talk as you worked. So it was very interesting to be able to see how they lived, what they believed in, and actually understand a little bit more about Buddhist thought and Buddhist culture as well. Another thing that I should emphasize is how beautiful the castle was. It was truly an amazing, amazing view. The forest right nearby was also amazing. You could walk to a little village for maybe like 15 minutes and then you actually get there. And then from there, you could get a bus to a bit of a bigger town. The bus took maybe 40, 45 minutes, but you were truly out in the wild. There was virtually nothing close to where the castle actually was. And the last thing I have to mention is that no, I'm not a Buddhist. Most of the volunteers that were not a Buddhist, it was not a requisite at all. We're not pressured into anything. Obviously, it's interesting to learn. So the meditations I knew, we were invited to them, and then some other meditations we could also take part in. Some of them were closed, but it was very interesting to see the way of life and to see what they thought and to see how they lived. Me personally, it didn't appeal to me as much what they actually believed in, and if anything, made me even closer a little bit to the Western way of looking at things. But as a lifestyle in and of itself, the way I lived in the castle, it was one of the most peaceful moments in my life. It was very, very good to be able to turn off work completely because I was not really working. I was just helping out, kitchen, cafeteria, that kind of thing, and to not have to worry about buying anything, about any material possessions, just going to bed, waking up, walking in the forest, everything being quiet, everyone letting you be. If you don't want to talk, you don't talk. If you want to talk, maybe someone else wants to talk too, and you can hang out. So it was a very, very chill moment. Also, the pattern of food, just like having the meals exactly at the same time, and all vegetarian, and also the no alcohol, especially since I had come from being traveling for a while, and hostel life is a little bit more chaotic, definitely, and a little bit more messed up also. It was very good to have that kind of routine, and it made me very, very well. At least it made my soul very, very well.